Namaste. Namaste to
Namaste.
all the participants. Namaste, Arjun.
Namaste, Didi.
Namaste. Namaste, Priyaji.
Namaste all.
Nice.
Namaste. Namaste, Manisha ji. Namaste to all.
Namaste.
Manisha ji, namaskar.
Namaste. Good. We have Arjun with us, and a very warm welcome to the eSIP follow-up session of Module 1, that is Universal Human Values, UHV 1. As many of us may be having the induction program in our colleges, institutes, and universities. So it's such a right time to take up this proposal and discuss it out, self-explore, and listen to our resource persons guiding us as to how to take up this proposal forward to our students during the induction, as well as in the following follow-up meetings that we can always organize in our institutes and colleges with our students. So with this, I welcome all the participants and resource persons, as well as the panelists, to the follow-up session. And as we can see the view foil for gratitude and love. So welcome, Arjun. So,
welcome. Namaste to all.
Namaste. So Arjun, we are going to talk about gratitude and love today.
Yes.
Nice. So I'll hand over the session to you. So without much ado, and though we could see some of the participants had unmuted, maybe they would like to put forward a sharing or would like to communicate with Arjun Asthana ji, it will be you welcome to do so. So over to you, Arjun.
Good evening, everyone. Last time we had a discussion about excellence and what we mean by competition, what is collaboration. So this time we want to talk about gratitude and love.
Last times were very, 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 very good, sir.
Okay, it was useful?
Yeah, very, very useful.
Okay, nice.
Right from the beginning, they were trying to give the concept of this no competition. But with clarity, we got the information from your session.
Okay.
It was very nice. The same message last week also I put, and again I am listening to in the YouTube.
Okay, very nice. So more and more when we start thinking about it, and then after thinking about it, we start exploring and connecting with our natural acceptance. Then,
but outside world is still driven by competition only. The students are given the input of fare well in the performance, score good marks. That only will lead you to in good jobs like that.
Yeah. So in the society, there may be many views.
Yes, yeah. That needs to be percolated. That excellence, taking that what you call benchmarking your own this thing, excel your own this thing. If at all you are good at it, give helping hand to others. Like that should percolate still now.
Yeah, so if you see in the society, the reason why it is not like that right now is because of a lot of underlying assumptions. Like one assumption is that we have to be rich to be happy, and to be rich we have to be richer than the other, or we have some benchmark of that also, right? So that also, why we have that benchmark is because we are thinking that we are the body.
Yes, the corporate world is driven by profits and excellence in comparison with others. That company, this company, that is the corporate world. The same is being what you call that sanskar is given to the education, this thing also, students also. So slowly that modification need to happen.
Yeah, so the reason it's happening is because in the society there is a very widespread assumption that we are the body, and by fulfilling the needs of the body we'll get happiness. This is an assumption. They may not say it this way, but then this idea is there that if we have more physical facility, then it would lead to happiness. So if we have more gadgets, or we have more technology, or we have more, different things, we have more wealth and all that, then it would lead to happiness. This is a widespread assumption. So because of that, all the processes are aligned towards that way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
therefore, it's not that they're doing it by intention, but then, I mean, their intention is to be happy, basically. But
Yes. Yes.
because of not being able to understand what actually makes you happy, because of
Right.
that, there's a strong assumption that all these things make you happy, and therefore the focus is only here. So
Yes.
because of that focus being so strong in one direction, just towards getting a higher paying job, and just towards earning more money and having more physical facility, because that
Yes.
is such a driving force, because of that, naturally all the systems, it will show up in all the systems, not only the education, but in, like how you're saying, the corporate, and in all the fields it would show up, depending on that assumption, how strong that assumption is.
Yes. Rightly said.
So
Rightly
the
said.
key is to start seeing that, first of all, that if we are able to look at ourselves as coexistence of self and body, and we see that happiness is the need of the self, and it can be fulfilled by right understanding and right living in harmony, then it automatically reduces the dependence on outside for our happiness. And anyway, when we depend on outside for happiness, it only leads to temporary, momentary kind of happiness.
Truly said. Truly said.
So once we start understanding this, it becomes much easier to see that, even though it may be happening outside, if we are able to see it, then it makes us comfortable. And second, it also helps us to share these things with others in such a way that, it can slowly start percolating in the society, as you're mentioning.
Preconditioning need to be totally substituted by right understanding.
Yeah, and it's a fact that we all have so many preconditionings which we have gathered over time. And until we really go into each one of these and analyze it and look whether it is coming from our natural acceptance or it is coming from outside, which is not verified. If we keep looking at all our things which we have gathered, then we'll notice that we also have so many of these preconditionings. And therefore, all of us may have different preconditionings, and we can all work towards exploring all of them and trying to see things through our natural acceptance and what is actually naturally acceptable for us. So that way, many of our preconditionings we'll realize are not really useful for us to keep also with us.
Yes, sir. Rightly
So
said.
this is a process. This is a process which we all are we can do actively, so that it leads to our actual happiness, and not just that idea that we'll get happiness in the future if we have so and so thing, or if we have so and so physical asset or something. So that way you can just explore. So what we want to discuss today is the feeling for those who have made effort in our development. Like, in our development means, when we're talking about development, we're talking about development of the right understanding, because that is what human development is, right? It's not about how rich somebody is, or how famous somebody is, or how respected that person is in the society. That is just society thinks about that person, or what the society is trying to show about that person, something like that. But basically, what really matters is the happiness within, because that is the thing that would last, right? So gratitude is the feeling for those who have made effort for your excellence, towards your excellence. So even the person who is helping in that may not have achieved that excellence, and you also may not have achieved that excellence. But if you have of some kind of feeling for those people who have made effort to help you in that process, then that is called gratitude. So we can see that The other has a feeling of care, affection, trust, all that, right? We can see. Once we start seeing that, then we also see that the other has helped in developing the right understanding and right feeling for me, and has provided me with the necessary physical facility also. So providing the necessary physical facility is called care, and helping in the understanding and the right feeling is guidance. So gratitude is the feeling when you have that somebody has helped me to develop as a human being. So gratitude is something where you're feeling, it's like feeling thankful also, you could say in simple words. And what we want to do next is to list down the help we are receiving from different people and from nature and from people who we may not know personally also. Make a list of things that we are using, physical facilities also, like you can make a list of what all we are using, what we are taking from the environment for our own use. And like when we start looking at what all things we are using, and who all are involved in all those things, then we start seeing how many people are working for my happiness or for my well-being, you can say. Like if we are looking at food, we are using food, right? We are consuming vegetables and fruits and grains and all these things we are consuming. So right now we have quite a widespread assumption that if we have money, we can buy all these things, and we don't think beyond that, right? That where that is coming from and how it is being made, who is making it, or who is working towards it. So like that, when we start thinking of the people involved also, and the natural processes also, like we start thinking about the whole chain of people. Like for food, if it's a simple thing like you're eating say chapati or rice or something, then there'll be people growing that rice, then there'll be people who are transporting it to the people who are selling it, then somebody is selling it, then you're buying it. So that whole process is there. So right now it just looks like one transaction, that we've just gone to a shop, we purchased it, and that's it. But if we see beyond that, then you can see that there are so many people who are working for each of those grains of rice. And it doesn't happen just by putting a little bit of money. Like if you just put a piece of money in the machine, it doesn't come out as rice or as wheat or something, right? There are people, so many people who are working towards it. And if you see the natural processes also, the process in nature, even if somebody grows some kind of a grain, then the person is only planting the seed and nurturing the seed and watering it and doing all these things. But the person can't grow the plant. The person can't grow the crops, right? It's something where you are putting in something, you're putting in some effort into nature, and nature is giving you something. Like you plant a mango tree, you're getting mango from it, but the effort you do is not to create mangoes. Your effort is to plant the seed and water it and nurture it, keep a good environment for it with good soil and all that. And that also, the less we do like artificial things with the soil and with the seeds and all that, the better it would be, because it would be more close to nature, natural processes. So you can see that there's a lot happening in nature, and if we just keep that environment for the nature, then it results in so many of these things. Like we just keep a suitable environment for the mango tree, it grows into a mango tree and gives so many mangoes, right? You see the same with the crops also, that if you create the right environment for the crops, you water and you put the uh, cow dung and all these things, you put all these manure and all that, and then you get the crop out of it. And then after that, somebody cuts it and somebody transports it, and then it goes to the market, and then you buy it. So that is for 1 grain of rice, there'll be so many people involved. There'll be so many people who are watering the field, so many people uh, who are breaking the grains, putting them into the packages and transporting to the market, and all these processes are there, which are human processes. Humans are involved in it, and natural processes are also there, where nature is transforming that seed into a grain which we can eat. And even in our body also, that grain is going and it's becoming a part of our bloodstream. So all these processes are happening, and if you really think about it, it's like um, such a seamless process. It looks as if it's happening so easily, and it is like a set of so many steps. So what you can do is you can list the things that are happening for what you're consuming or what you're doing, and see what all people would be involved. So if you just think about that, then you'll feel like all these people are working towards my well-being, right? Even though you may not know their name, or you may not know them personally like that as a person, you haven't interacted with them. Maybe it's only interaction with a shopkeeper or somebody who is taking it in the form of money as exchange. But if all these people are not there, if all these people are not doing all these processes, then what would happen? The money can't be transformed into this just like that, right? Right now, money is being used only as a medium of exchange, but the processes are not happening because of that. The processes are like independent of that. So question is like, can you start counting the total number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in ensuring even just one meal for you? If you really list and see, you'll start to find that there are hundreds of people involved for you to have one meal, right? It's not just that one shopkeeper was there, you paid him, and or you went to a restaurant, you paid them, and they provided a meal. So there are so many people, right? You can, and even for all the other things also, not just for a meal also, even for everything else also, you can see how many people may be involved. And in nature, what all processes are involved? In nature, the processes are phenomenal, and we have taken them for granted because we feel that that is how it is, and we're not really paying much attention to how things are transforming and how things are working in nature also, right? So try thinking about the people also and the natural processes also involved in all these things. And there are a couple of hands raised also, so now we can take any comments or questions.
जी सुदर्शन सर नमस्ते.
Namaste, Shivdasan sir. Shivaji, namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
How are you?
Oh, I am okay. I was not well, in fact, and I'm okay. I am. Thank you, thank you. I'm listening. I mean, there is no, because this is a mess. So a lot of students sit here. I am sitting in the back side and all. So there is a lot of noise coming. I'm listening the gratitude and the love. Let me listen.
Nice.
Let me continue to listen. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice. So, Dr. Arunachalam, so would you like to put forward any discussion?
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we are getting your voice.
Okay. This is a nice program, Love and Gratitude. everyone knows how to help others. In case of Tamil Nadu rainy season, we are each other to help everyone in the correct way. How to help others? This is a correct way. I want to share in this time. So, in this way, even though Anna University related to syllabus induction program introduced in the first semester itself, that is a nice introduction. Students also motivated to extracurricular activities. So, in this way, this is a very good turning point. Everyone, not only for students only to understand, every human being to understand properly how to help others, don't disturb others, how to make others also happy. That is a way they want to do that activity. This program will get reach to schools children also. In this way, I have to share this time. Thanks to share my views. Love and affection is very, very important. Not only the family. This is a throughout not only the India, throughout the world, we have to help others. This is a universal human value.
Right. The moment, very interesting point you mentioned also, that it's not only the family, apart from that, not only the nation, also the whole world. Because once we realize that we are all similar on the level of the self, then we feel related to everyone, right? We start feeling that that same kind of a feeling that we want to help the other. We feel that that feeling translates all the way to the whole world, because um, the moment we start looking at our natural acceptance and our human being as coexistence of self, we see that on the body level we may be very different, opinions may be very different, but on the level of the self, we all have that potential for right understanding, and we all want to get happiness also. We're just confused about the means of how it works, and all these things. So once we realize that we are also like that and the other also is like that, then we feel like we are related. And when we feel related, then naturally we want to help them also, and we want to be together, not necessarily have the same opinions and not necessarily live together like that, but you could definitely say that you start having the feeling of uh, feeling related to the other. And once that comes, then you feel like helping, and you feel like doing everything that you can in your capacity. So whenever you come across somebody, then you feel like he's related to you, he or she is related to you. You don't feel like that person is a stranger, right? So that starts happening once we see this. And we also
Thank
feel
you.
gratitude also for everyone, because for everyone who has helped us. So therefore, because of that, we also feel like helping others. So both of these things are there. So we can see that we are anyway related to the environment, and we are anyway related to humans also, but many times we don't see that as being related. So we are already related to the environment, we are already related to other human beings, but because of what our assumptions are and what we are thinking and all this, we start losing this relation. So if we work on our understanding, then it starts helping us to see that we are related. It's not that we have become related after understanding. We were always related. We are always already a part of nature. It's not that we have become a part of nature after knowing this thing. But it is that we are already related to everyone. We are already related to the environment. That's already there. We are just starting to recognize that. And the more we work towards our right understanding, the more clearly we'll be able to see it and then implement it in our living also. So if we have the right understanding, then we can also ensure the right feeling because we have that feeling of being related to the others also. So we have the right feeling towards the others. So even if the other person has a different opinion, even if the other person is criticizing, even if the other person is doing something which we feel is wrong, even then we still have the right feeling towards that person, because we realize that, okay, this person also is like me. The only difference is that maybe there is a lack of understanding in some area. Behavior is like this. But from inside, that person also wants continuous happiness. I also want continuous happiness. And I also am not 100% there. And the other person is also not 100% there. So we feel related, even if the other is looking like he's doing something very different, or he's having totally different opinions about the world, right? Even then we feel related. And we can see that physical facilities are all also important, but their importance has, I mean, like their placement is different from where we would do it otherwise, once we have the right understanding. Because once we have the right understanding, we can understand the right role of the physical facility also, which is to nurture and protect the body and have the right utilization of the body through the physical facilities. So if that is facility, if it is only limited to that, then we don't pay extra attention towards gathering more and more physical facilities, because we realize that the role of physical facility is limited to this much, that it can help us to protect the body, rightly utilize it. And apart from that, what else can it do? If we realize that it cannot help us to get respect, or it cannot help us to get uh, happiness, it can only help us in a certain level of comfort or convenience, then we start seeing that, its role overall is only that much. And we can see that only when we have the right understanding. Till then, it feels like that is the primary thing. The physical becomes the primary thing, because our focus is only on the body. So what we want to do is we want to check whether you have a feeling of gratitude for those who have made effort in your life. Like, are you able to appreciate the things which have been done for you to be able to have reached wherever you are right now, in terms of your body? Also, you can see that you've grown from age 0 to whatever age now. So there must be so many people involved in so many processes and nature, and so many things are there which have led to you being where you are today. Yeah, there's I think, a comment or question. The hand was raised. You can go ahead. There's one or two hands raised, I think. Or is it from YouTube?
Yes, Rangnath ji is also there. Rangnath bhaiya, namaste.
Namaste, sir. How are you, sir? Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. I have a simple doubt, sir. Is appreciation also a way of expressing gratitude, sir?
Yes, you can express gratitude through appreciation, but again, the only thing to be aware of there is that we don't want to overdo that, because that may lead to that feeling of pride or ego, right? So we don't want to overdo that, but at the same time, we do, of course, want to acknowledge that the person has helped in your development.
Yes, sir. I have one
So
more.
you can do this. You can do this outside also with the expression, and also have that feeling inside yourself. So one of the components is to express it outside, which is also important for the other to know. It is good to express, right?
Yes.
So that the other person is able to see that, he feels that, what he's doing was useful for you.
Sir.
So that way it's good for you to express it outside also. And you can also have that feeling inside. If that feeling is genuinely there inside, then that expression also becomes natural, right?
Sir.
It's not artificial expression that you're doing
Yes.
it just to say thank you or just to say something, right? It's
Yes.
natural, right?
Is
So
there any
you can do appreciation. There's no harm in that, as long as you don't overdo it and it doesn't lead to that flattery where you go on appreciating and go on
yes,
saying things such that
yes,
the other person starts
yes,
totally, not taking it as
yes,
right evaluation, starts taking it as totally over
yes,
evaluation. So that
yes,
also we should just be aware of.
yes,
But apart
sir.
from that, it's good to appreciate them.
Good, sir. Sir, what
Yeah.
it has very good effect, sir. I used to appreciate my students who use right answer. Some people they may fail to give right answer, even then appreciate so that they come forward to do it, sir. And I have one
Right,
more.
right.
I have one more doubt,
So
sir.
that also makes them feel more
Yes,
equal rather than somebody is higher than the other.
yes,
So how you're saying, right, that you're appreciating even the person who is giving the wrong answer, then
sir.
at least it makes them feel that they are also a part of the class and they are also trying.
Yes,
And okay, maybe this time they gave the wrong answer, but then they don't feel that they are inferior to the other. So that is
yes,
a
sir.
good thing where we are treating everybody the same regardless of their intellectual capacity.
Yes, sir. Shall I share with you, sir, one word, sir?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Usually, to draw the attention, to have the affection of the students, I begin sometimes in the middle at the end. I am for you all, you are all for me. It has a very good effect, sir, in the class, what I observed. I always repeatedly
What
say,
does that mean? We are for you means I didn't understand what that means.
I am for you all, you are all for me. If they are in difficulties or some problems, I will promise or I will assure them that I am there to help them. And if at all I am in problems, they all will come to help me. That is togetherness.
Okay.
That acted well, sir, what I observed. It is because of HP and talks from people like you. Really great, I am learning. Sir, can I ask one more question, sir?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, sir. I don't know whether it is perfect or not, but I would like to open my heart, sir. In these days of selfishness, and as long as somebody is beneficial to others, they remain grateful. Then later on, after getting that thing done or not undone, they keep silence. That is what I observed.
Okay.
Yes, sir, that is, sir. So as you said, whether they have they remain grateful to me or not, or they go for criticizing, still I remain grateful and right understanding, right feeling towards sir. That struck my heart, sir. Really great, sir. Thank you, sir. Can I go ahead?
Thank you for bringing up. This is also like,
yes, sir.
If you just look at it, then
yes,
like you're saying that even if the other person is doing something which he's looking for something to gain, and once he gains it, then he loses that feeling of gratitude for you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so that may happen a lot because in the current scenario,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it just appears as if we are trying to always gain something from the other.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so whether that be in terms of physical facility or whether that be in terms of feelings,
sir.
It's the same kind of thing where we are expecting that to come from the other, and once we get it, then we feel that there is nothing else to get from the other, and therefore why do I have to have a feeling for the other?
Yes,
That may be there.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
even if that is there, it's coming from the other, right? The other is maybe having that feeling, but just imagine that that person was your own son or your own wife or your own child or something. Then what would happen? Then you would try to still help them, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly, sir.
So if we feel related, we would still feel like helping them, even if they are doing those things, because we feel related to them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that's the key, that if we are starting to look at
Yes, sir.
everyone else as being
Yeah.
related to me,
Yes, sir.
then I don't get uncomfortable with those things.
Yes,
But
sir.
if I feel that the other is a stranger and now he was just trying to use me or exploit me to get this thing done, and now that he has got it done, he is not grateful to me. If I take it in that sense, then I will feel a feeling of opposition towards him or her.
Yes.
And then that will lead to my unhappiness also, that I will feel like taking revenge, or I will feel just unhappy about that person. And the
Yes,
other also would feel like he has got that thing and now he's also looking for something. He's got something from someone. He's looking for somebody else to give him something else. So that constant expectation to receive something from the other would be there. So,
yes, sir.
so when that is there, then you can't really have that feeling of gratitude, because then it's always that it's like a transaction. Once I get this, then I look for something else which I have to get. So it's like I'm trying to collect all these things.
Sir. Sir.
Or I'm trying to collect
Yes,
some kind of feeling from the other. I'm trying to collect a feeling of respect from the other. Other person is not
yes,
giving me respect over here, but he's giving me somewhere else. So I'm going there just so that I can get that feeling from the other.
sir. Sir.
Like
So,
this is also right. It's not only money, it's also a lot to do with feeling, that we are expecting the feeling to come from the other. So rather than that, if we ensure the right feeling for ourselves and then we express them to the other without
yes,
expecting anything from the other, then we
yes,
are happy
yes,
within, because
yes,
um, we are not dependent on the other person of what feeling that person would give us.
yes,
We are only looking at our own feeling,
yes,
and we are able to ensure the right feeling within ourselves, so we don't
yes,
have any requirement for getting it from the other. And
yes.
at the same time, if the other gives it also, it's fine. If the other doesn't give it also, we still have the same feeling for the other.
Yeah, true, sir. True, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
As
And
you said,
eventually you'll see that you would be happier also that way, and the other also sooner or later may realize that, this person is helping me even though I'm not giving him anything.
yes, sir.
So then
Yes,
that person also may start getting that feeling
yeah,
of gratitude.
yeah,
But even if that person doesn't get it, we should not be disturbed, because once we see that everyone is at a different level of understanding, then we can
yes,
see that, maybe that person's level of understanding is much lower than mine. So he needs even more help actually to be able to see that
sir.
that feeling of gratitude.
Good,
So
sir.
that's fine. That is fine, right? That's okay.
Sir, as you said, the feel being related, can you use the word universal, sir, in my class?
You can, but maybe to start with, you can just say related, because um, people may not be able to connect with the word universal at that point.
Yes,
Maybe at a later point, you
yes,
could
sir.
use that word.
Okay, thank
It
you,
may
sir.
be easier for a student,
Yeah,
because when
yes,
you're saying related, then that
yes,
word is more common. Like in the family, you feel related to your people in the family, and therefore using that word to extend to more people, it becomes
yes,
a little easier to understand, I think. And after
yes,
that, once you talk about being related to everyone,
yes, sir.
then you can say those kind of things. And for natural acceptance, you can also ask this question that, what would be what would be naturally acceptable for you. And
Sure, sure.
once you get the answer from that, then you can also demonstrate how it is universal, that we all are having the same kind of natural acceptance. The same answer
Yeah,
is coming, whether we want to be related to each other or in opposition to each other. When we ask this question,
yeah,
then
sure.
what answer is coming?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So
Wow, and I would like to repeat what you have said. That is, we cannot create a mango, but we can take the process of watering and taking care of the plant, which gives the fruits. I really am thankful, sir. I am grateful, sir, for that word. Water the root and enjoy the fruit. Thank
yeah. So
you.
right now in the like, even though a
Really,
lot of science and technology and all things have happened, we
sir.
can still see that the natural processes are much more sophisticated than any technology can become. And the reason is because that is natural. And whatever we are trying to make can only, you know, um, help in facilitating the process of watering or process of
Yes.
those things. Like you can
Yes.
put a pump and you can have that automated. You can automate
Yes.
the process of watering, but you
Yes.
can't automate the processes of making a fruit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so even in science and the technology, there is a limitation that you can do what the processes are to lead to the result, but the natural thing you cannot do.
Yes. Yes.
What is
Yes.
natural will always be something which you cannot get with technology.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You can make a chemical version of the fruit or something, but it will never be the same as the
Yes.
natural fruit. You can make
Yes.
a processed food which is tasting like the fruit. Maybe
Yes,
with
sir.
some chemicals you can make it, but that will
Yeah.
never be the same as what you get on the tree.
True. True, sir. True, sir.
Yeah.
I remain grateful, sir. I show my gratitude listening to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we
Hello.
one more hand is raised, I think.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Arjun sir. Hello.
Hello. Yes,
Is
we can
my
hear you.
is my voice normal to you?
Yes, it is perfect.
Namaste, Arjun sir. Namaste.
Namaste.
I wanted to put a situation to you and wanted to get your feedback on that.
Sure.
See, as I am elderly now, I have become an admirer of my body than myself. Though I am very much conscious about importance, predominance or the central uh, central uh, control or central controlling stuff of my existence. Mind is important. Body is, self is important. But since, I am elderly now, and out of the experience, I am growing more and more as an advocate of my body, unlike my childhood. Right. So this is one thing, and this is regarding the clarifications which I am going to put to you is regarding that the happiness in external and internal things, outside things, and happiness we find in external and outside things. See, for example, as I listen to you, you deliver every Wednesday, listen to you every Wednesday. I have a feeling of great respect to you. I have developed and I have a feeling of great respect to you. And this feeling, I have got it not myself considering as a body. It is true that this feeling and this happiness out of this feeling I developed in myself. But this happiness, you being an external thing, and this happiness I am finding in you, listening to you, the happiness I get it in, I develop in myself is from an external thing, because you are an external person. You are an external, what you call, uh, existing thing. So this happiness is coming to me external, from an external thing, and that is developed in my self only, not in my body.
Yes.
So can you respond to this? Can you give me some clarification on this? This is the
Sure,
way
sure.
some students are
Yes,
speaking.
let's discuss this. So the first one, you were saying about the body, that the look of the body, is it the look of the body, or is it the fact that the body is aging and the kind of fear of death kind of thing?
No, this is the thing I have to, this is a relative care now as I become elderly, as I'm growing elderly, this is the care I care which is due to my body now, because I was not taking care of my body the way I am taking care now. Now I am forced to take care of whatever I do, it's only for my body now. Whatever I medication, whatever treatment, whatever operation, whatever medicine, whatever food nourishment I do is only for my body, because now myself has become, a secondary to me now, unlike my childhood or my good time. My childhood, my body was, my body was weak, and my myself was very growing, very much.
Okay. So this has to do with kind of a maintenance kind of a thing. Like if you take any, let's take example of an automobile also, that initially when you buy it, then it is very new and therefore it runs very smoothly.
Yeah.
It just needs petrol or diesel and it runs and there's no problem.
Yeah.
Then slowly after 1 year, you need a little bit of servicing. After 2 years, you need a little bit of servicing.
Correct.
After 20 years, it needs maintenance. And then at some point, you find that it's needing too much maintenance and it's not worth it because it's just, better to get a new car now at this point.
Yeah, that
So the
is
same
true.
happens with the body.
That
That
is true. That is
initially,
true. That is
yeah, so initially you may have very low maintenance of the body, like when you're a teenager or young person, then you can eat anything, even if you eat a lot of junk food, nothing much happens. It seems like that, like there's nothing which
yeah,
is
true.
causing you to become sick very easily, and
Yeah.
therefore you keep going. And then when you go into middle age, then you have to really watch your diet and exercise in such a way that if you don't do it properly, then you start developing some complicated problems, right?
Yeah,
All this
yeah,
diabetes and all these whatever problems are there.
yeah.
So at that point you realize that what is key to keeping the body healthy. If you realize that in the beginning itself, it is best. The earlier you realize that, it is best. But regardless of where we are right now, we see that the body has a limited lifespan and
Yeah.
it would deteriorate in the way that any material deteriorates. Like if you keep um, a apple on the table also, you can see that after say 10 days,
It
it looks
deteriorated.
like it
Yeah.
looks different from the first day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
after
It
1 month, you
deteriorated.
see it looks totally
Yeah.
different. And at some stage, it will look, it will
True.
start decomposing so much that you cannot do anything with it, right?
True.
So the maintenance does increase once we are, as we get older. And at some point, then the self makes the decision that, it's not worth carrying on in this body. So we would go to the next body.
True.
So if the self is able to make that decision at the right time, then there is no suffering in the body. Then it is only that transition from that maintenance to the next body. But if the
Yeah.
self is hanging on to that body, thinking that we are the body,
Yeah.
thinking that I am body, then
Yeah.
the body tries to, I mean, the self tries to linger on to that same body for more time than it should. So when it starts doing that, then suffering comes. You start suffering because the body is very, very weak and not able to take the load.
Yeah.
So at that point, there is a lot of suffering. So to prevent that, if we are able to understand that we are, coexistence of the self and the body, then it becomes much easier to leave the body at the right time. Whenever the feeling is that, it's not worth maintaining this and, it's causing a lot of problems and we'd rather have a fresh body now. So
Yeah.
this is the thing about that. And then the second
Question.
thing,
No, in
yeah,
this, in the first part itself, in fact,
yeah,
the first part was not the question. It was the background. Like when I
okay,
was young, no, the body was dominating because very, very, very strong. It hardly need any maintenance.
right,
Now, and I was so I were to take care of myself in the lower, developing the self. I mean, not developing, like no. I mean, leaning towards sitting with myself always was very important. Now, since I am elderly growing now, not growing up, but growing downwards, the the care and then the support I mean my body asks from me is more. So I am an advocate, I'm a proponent of the body now. That is not the question. The question is, the clarification, the point on which I seek your clarification is, like, I have feeling of respect listening to you. I am not seeing you. I don't see your body, nor, I mean, there is no bodily relationship and all the thing. I listen to your lecture and I have a lot of respect to you, feeling of respect to you. This feeling is in my mind, not in my body. It's not because of I consider myself as a body and all the things. This feeling and the happiness and the associated happiness
Right,
is
right.
being
We'll
developed in
talk
my
about that
self
also.
only.
Right, right. That's true. So
And
we'll talk
this,
about that
this
also now.
happiness I am getting from a, you are a separate ikai, you are a separate, I mean, existence. So you are an external thing as far as my self is concerned, or my body is, my existence is concerned. We are separate, we are different. So I am getting this happiness out of the respect I have. I have some happiness. That happiness, is it not from an external body, on an external unit like you? And
See,
this
when we're
happiness,
talking about, yeah, I got the question. So let's talk about that
this
also
is
now.
the way
So,
students are thinking.
yeah, like even when you're teaching also, you're transmitting some kind of understanding which you have developed. You're transmitting that to the other person or the student. So in the same way here also, if you look, then what is actually happening is we are discussing things about understanding. So we are trying to develop our understanding. So we are using an external medium like the internet and the when you are a different person in terms of body and in terms of self also, we can say that we are each having our own self, but
Yes.
we feel related to each other, and we are having a kind of a conversation where we are trying to develop our understanding. So whenever we are trying to develop understanding and get clarity about something which would help us to develop that understanding, then it would lead to happiness as we keep progressing on that path, because more and more clarity of understanding leads to happiness, right? So even though
See,
it is
should
even though
I?
it is external, you're saying external because the medium is external, but you're not trying to get happiness out of sensation or out of preconditioning, right?
No,
Like
no, no, no.
the,
It is out of the feeling, real feeling.
yeah. So out of the feeling also, what happiness comes, that also would last only for a certain amount of time. But if you want to make it
No,
more permanent,
no,
then it would be
no.
by exploring those proposals which are talked about. So um, first, you're saying that you're feeling related, or you're feeling good that we are having this discussion, and therefore like good about the thing that you're having that feeling of being related first, and that itself gives you some kind of happiness, right? That is more lasting than the thing that you
No,
get
no, no.
from.
Let me intervene. Let me
Yeah,
intervene.
yeah.
The feeling, even if you stop delivering, even after 8:30, I have the feeling of respect to you because you are, when I, as I was, have been listening to you for a long time, I have developed a feeling, and even if you stop delivering the lecture, that feeling continues, then happiness is also there. It is not that for a short time. When you
Yeah,
stop
that's what
delivering,
we are saying, that the happiness is not for a short time. It
yeah.
is more lasting than the feeling that you would get from something which is coming from sensation or preconditioning. That is for sure, but even
Yeah.
that is not continuous,
Now,
right, at
I
this
just
point.
wanted to ask you in this connection, should I consider you as a separate unit? And if I
Separate.
treat you as a separate unit, this happiness as me as a unit, this happiness, I get it from an outside unit, from you.
Okay.
Am
So
I making, no, am I not making sense?
So you're just saying that since we are different, we have different body and different self. Because of
No,
that, we are.
no, I don't say that no self and body now. You are a different unit. You are an external unit to me, and I am getting happiness, continuous happiness, say sort of a respect. The happiness out of a continuous respect, feeling of respect. I
Okay.
get it from you. Means you are a separate unit. So is it not from an external unit? This happiness I am getting from an external unit, which is continuous.
What is happening
Not
is
for
that
a momentary.
actually what is happening is that we are having this discussion, and after that you are analyzing these proposals or you're analyzing these things within yourself, and then you're getting happiness out of the clarity that you are developing within yourself actually. So even though you're listening to me, I'm becoming some kind of medium for you to reach these proposals, that's all. But I'm not able to do what you are able to do inside yourself, right? You are able to analyze those proposals within yourself,
Ji,
and with that you're developing the clarity and the right feeling within yourself. So you're developing the right feeling within yourself, and
ji.
you're saying also, right, that even after the lecture you still have that feeling. So what
I
that
will
means
feel
is
that.
what
That
that
will.
means is that you have started to develop that feeling within yourself, and this lecture has been used as a medium for that.
Ji,
But it's not because of this that it has happened. This has been used as a medium to, like how you have a teaching medium also. You teach something to the students, but how much the student is able to grasp is not always in your control, right? It's always also dependent on the student and how they, if you're teaching maths or something, suppose,
so
then
shall I
there may be
advise
somebody
you?
who grasps the concept quickly, and there
If
may
you
be somebody
advise
who
me,
takes time
if you
also.
advise me, the happiness I developed, I have nurtured towards you, is not from the lecture you deliver, or not from the, not you being a point, not you being a unit, external unit to me, but it is it is the medium. It is the lecture as a medium. I derive the happiness in myself, so it has nothing to do. It is not dependence on you as a you being a unit, on you being a unit.
Yeah, it's not dependent
Happiness,
on, it's not dependent on the medium as such. Like, see, this medium of PPT or medium of something is a medium, but that doesn't mean that everybody who you have a Zoom call with would help in developing that right feeling within yourself. So when you are looking at these proposals and then analyzing it and exploring it within yourself through your natural acceptance, then you're verifying. So once that verifying process starts of self verification, then you start seeing the reality as it is without all these assumptions and preconditionings and all that. So once you start seeing that, then it leads to a feeling which you have started to develop within yourself. So then it's not dependent on the outside, it's not dependent on me or any other unit, right?
correct.
So the unit is only helping in the transfer of information, and transfer of feeling also would be transferred if the other person is able to
It is
feel it.
not. It is independent of the unit. That is what you are saying. Right?
Yeah, the unit is just a
Becoming a
medium
cause
to,
for it. That's all.
yeah, the unit is just transferring the information or sharing some proposals. That's all that is happening, right?
Yes.
And the other person may be also sharing the feeling also. Like, I might have a certain feeling within me which I am also transmitting, but the other person may or may not be able to see that. Like even with words you can see that, even with these proposals,
Yes.
different people may have different interpretations of it depending on how they understand these words and how they understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, right, that would also be different from person to person depending on how they are able to uh, transfer these words into understanding, what they're able to get out of it, kind of, in terms of
Yes.
understanding.
Yes.
That also may vary. So what is actually happening, why the transformation is happening within you is because of what you're getting out of it. You're able to, you know, explore it within yourself, and that the result of that is giving you the happiness. It's not because of the lecture, or not because of me, or not because of any unit outside. So it's not because of something external. Something external is just leading to you thinking about it, and you analyzing it, and you exploring it within yourself. So it's actually happening within yourself. This is just like a trigger, right? It's only like a trigger. This is not the actual process. Because if the same lecture is given to like 1,000 people, then it may have different impact on different persons depending on what they're able to explore after this, right? After this, what people explore may be different from person to person. Somebody may start the exploration process, somebody may not do it, somebody may not do it at all, somebody may keep exploring more and more deep, right? So wide range will be there. So the more we explore, the more we'll start seeing, and the more we'll start getting clarity, developing our understanding. And as we develop our understanding, it starts showing in our feeling also, and in our living also. Because when we develop understanding, then we are able to ensure the right feeling within. So then we are not dependent on the other for the feeling. Like now, you're not dependent on me to give you a respect or give you a kind of feeling, right? You are just listening to this, and you're analyzing it. So you're not dependent on me for getting a particular feeling. You're not dependent on like just attending the lecture for getting the feeling. If you don't attend the lecture also, you still have the feeling, right? You yourself said that it's lingering on, it's not going away with after the lecture, it's gone, kind of thing.
I understand.
So if it is something which is coming from external, then it has the kind of characteristic that it would go away when the exposure to that is gone. Like if you have suppose you have something coming from sensation, like a tasty food or something, then immediately after that exposure is over, after the taste is over, then that doesn't continue, right? That doesn't continue. It just leads to, sometimes it leads to a craving for having that taste again some other time. Maybe after 2 days or 3 days, you start feeling that you want that taste again.
True.
So if that is happening with this lecture also, then it means that you're getting it from external. If that is not happening from this lecture, then
So
it
I am
means that you
depending
have
on that.
started, yeah.
Yeah.
So if this lecture stops also today and we don't have any other lecture, then will that feeling go away within yourself, or will it continue?
Continue. Will
That
continue.
means if it is continuing, that means that the feeling is ensured within yourself. If it is dependent on the lecture where you're waiting for this Wednesday so that you get this feeling again, and then the moment the lecture is over, it goes away. If that is the case, it means that getting it from an external
Sensation
source.
of preconditioning. Right, right.
Yeah. So that is the difference.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. My gratitude to you. Thank you. My love,
Thank
my
you.
affection.
Thank you. Our gratitude for everyone. And
Thank you.
you can analyze these things and maybe start seeing this, and you will feel more comfortable also within, once you feel related to others, and once you feel a feeling of gratitude for all the people who are making effort for your excellence. So with that, I think we'll close this session. Now that it is 8:30.
Yes, certainly. It's time as well. So it's really a nice and interactive session, and we'll continue from here onwards next Wednesday as well. So thank you all the participants and all the panelists for this participation. So
Thank you
thank
to
you
all.
again.
Thank
Namaste,
you.
everybody.
Namaste. Namaste to everyone.
Namaste.